Lab Coat Agents? It's Tristan and Nick Baldwin with you here again for another webinar. We kind of took a little hiatus there, didn't we, Nick? It was like a week and a half off. How did that feel, man?
Dude, I missed you, brother. I missed you, bro.
Well, we're back, and today we've got an amazing guest. She's been with us a few times before, and every time I talk to her, it's a new inspiration, and I learned something new from her. But it keeps on going back to the same thing with Gail. Gail, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Zintek?
Zintek.
Zintek. Gail Zintek. And it's all about consistency with Gail. Today she's going to share with you how she's gotten 113 referrals this year alone, which is absolutely amazing. Gail, can you tell the audience a little bit about you, like what area you cover, and are you an independent broker or not? Little things like that before we start.
Yeah, my husband Steve and I are independent brokers. We own Network Team Homes Realty in Portage, Michigan, the southwest corner. If you're looking on your thumb, it's down here in this corner. And we've been we started in real estate back in 2004, me, and 2006 for Steve. And we've had 100% referral business for the last 5 years since we opened up our own company. And we just, we're going to talk about that. It's consistency over time equals some pretty good results.
I like that mathematical equation there. Consistency over time equals some results. I like that. That's pretty cool. All right. Do you have anything to start, Nick, or do you want me to go ahead?
No, I was just going to say that's interesting because the other day I posted in the group saying that there's really only one thing that determines someone's success, and it's consistency. Like, you don't have to do everything, right? As long as you do one thing over and over and over and over and over and over, it's going to pay off. There's just no reason that there's just no way that it won't. Like, there's just no reason that way that won't. That I think that's where a lot of agents are stuck. They're like all over the place. I'm do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of this, but you can do a little bit of everything, but you just have to hone in on that one thing and do it all the time. Yeah,
I agree. So Gail, you got 113 referrals so far. Did you imagine getting this many this year?
Well, I'm very big on affirmations and setting my intentions at the beginning of the year. And I thought I was doing a really good job by setting an intention to get 100 referrals in 2017. And when I say me, I really talk about my husband and I, because he's a real rock star. And Nick, you can attest to the fact that when you're working with your spouse, it's not just me doing something, it's both of us equally doing our parts and doing our share. And he's the one that comes home with, I got a couple more referrals yesterday, so and so called, and
Well, so, I've come to learn that it's totally a 90-10 compromise. I do 10. I'm 10%. She's 90%. As long as you can accept that, great things will happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure she says the same thing, Gail, right?
Well, actually, it's more of a, I would say maybe 70-30. He does 70% and I do. Because as a broker, I still have that responsibility, right? So I have to keep my hands in the mix. But, it's been a really fun ride. And, going back to the setting the intention so long about, it was the middle of January. I remember Steve and I, it's like, in Michigan, it's normally January is a very slow time. And it was every single day, one of us we're getting a call, hey, I'm thinking about listing and selling this year. Can you come over and let us know what the market and what that might look like for us? And so I remember about the 15th of January, and I said to him, did you get a referral today? He's like, no, did you? I said, no. I said, man, what's wrong with us? We didn't get a referral today, because we were getting them every single day. And so when we hit, I think it's when we hit about 70, by the middle of February, maybe, I was like, okay, that intention of 100 is way off. So I set a goal to hit 200 referrals this year, and we'll see if we get there. It's what that looks like. And I want to like tell the audience that it's not just because we've gotten 113 referrals doesn't mean we have 113 deals. Actually, we have so far this year, we put 35 homes under contract. 19 of those were sellers, 16 of those were buyers, and we have 5 more listings coming on the market. And we have a few listings out there still needing to sell, and about 6 buyers that we're working with. So I fully anticipate that, we'll at least match our production that we did last year, which was 56 transactions.
Wow. Okay. Very good.
So are these referrals primarily past clients, sphere of influence, or are some of them agents? Like what's the, percentage wise there? What's the split?
That's a great question. It seems like a lot of our clients right now are past clients that we sold to, 6, 7, 8 years ago, which as statistics, go, that's about when people start
right.
to make a move. And then, excuse me, I would say referrals from past clients as well as referrals from our sphere of influence. We do very little agent to agent referral, but that's I would say sphere of influence, referrals from past clients and past clients themselves. And we're getting in some third tier referrals, which, a first tier is like, you hire me and we do a job for you. Second tier is when they refer you. And then when that person refers, that's third tier, fourth tier. So we're getting now into that third, fourth tier where people are referring us as well.
Wow. I love it.
Okay. So let's say, so a referral comes in, right? So people have to understand that 110 referrals doesn't, like you said, doesn't mean 110 deals. But it could over time, right? So when a referral comes into you, what's the system there for the follow up and how you approach that person that was referred to you?
Well, just last week, one of my friends, she's a past client, a dear friend from many, many years. Her and her husband bought a cottage out on a lake, and she sent me an email last week, and it said possible referral. I always love opening up to see what that means. And Karen says, hey, my friend, I was talking to my neighbor Mary, and she says she's going to sell her home next spring, and she wants to do it for sale by owner. So and Karen is also in the send out cards business with me, so she like knows the value of what these cards and brownies can do. So she says, I thought maybe you could send her a card and some of those great brownies and introduce yourself, which was a great idea. So I sent a thank you card to Karen with some delicious brownies for referring me to her neighbor Mary. And then I said, would you by chance be able to take some pictures of Mary's house for me, because it's about 45, 50 minutes away from where I live. So she sent me via email or via messenger some great pictures of Mary's house. So I just put a card together, and I used that to introduce ourselves to Mary, letting her know that her home is, just as Karen said, it's gorgeous. We'd love the opportunity to meet her and talk about that there is value in hiring a realtor, and would love the opportunity to meet her, if she decides to make that move and sell her home. So it's incremental steps. That's the first step was Karen referring and me acting on that referral and sending Mary a card. And then, following up after that, that's kind of that tier 2 referral. Well, Mary doesn't know who we are, so we haven't built trust with her yet. But we have that with Karen. So I'm going to employ Karen to help me, nurture that relationship along the way.
So Gail, you've got 2 types of clients here, or people. You've got the people that you've met already and the people that you haven't met. Mm-hmm. So those people that you've met, your past clients, your sphere, how do you stay in contact with them so that they are referring you people? I mean, what do you do specifically? Because look, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to copy you. That's what I want.
Okay, well, there's really two primary ways. One is through sending cards. My passion. Those of you out there listening, my passion is send out cards. I've been using the service for the past 10 years. I use it every day. Actually, I used it today, Tristan. I sent you those last couple pictures where I actually went to get a pedicure today, and I thought, oh, that gal was really nice. And so I came home and I took a picture of my toes, and then I took a selfie and I sent her a card with some brownies. And what I did was I said, thank you for the service that you offered me today. Thank you for giving of your time and talents and adding value to my day. I'll be back, because we just moved to this new location. And so it's about adding people. So I added Christina now today to my database, and I will start to nurture that relationship with her. With the people that we already know, I'm on Facebook, I'm in social media, and connecting with at least 50 people every day. And there's a formula: 50, 25, 1. So if you want to write that down, all of you that are listening, it's 50, 20, 5, 1. So how that breaks down is 50 connections a day. So when you're on social media, you're just browsing through, and these are the people in your sphere, and they're posting their life. So you need to show up. And so when you just hit like, love, smile, wow, when you hit those buttons, you're showing up, you're becoming visible to them, and you're visible in their life with those like buttons. And when you know how it feels, when you make a post and someone acknowledges you, it's like, wow, that's cool. I didn't, that my friend from Oregon acknowledged my picture of my lake today. It was pretty cool. So on social media, 50 times a day, just it's kind of like giving a high five, just showing up on someone's timeline. The 20 represents, now you're going to make a comment, and you're going to engage with them and commenting on their post, and they're going to comment back. So that starts to turn into a conversation. So you have 50 high fives, 20 connections, conversation that starts and leads into, now maybe you get into a texting or a Facebook Messenger where, someone, my friend she just had an accident. She had a motorcycle accident. And so people are messaging me.
Mhm.
We're communicating through Messenger. And I've been reading on lab coat agents that, texting versus a phone call or a voicemail. And I think I just saw a post today, and people like text messaging and Messenger because it's quick, it's to the point, and then you can move on.
Yeah.
So if you do that 5 times a day, and you have conversations with at least 5 people, that leads to one powerful conversation. And that might be someone, maybe a client of yours that you've got a listing and it's lingering. And so you start that conversation through a text, and then you pick up the phone and you talk. Having one powerful conversation every day, maybe just getting to know that person a little bit better. And you do that consistently over time, you're going to build your database. And that it's not about how many. This is another thing. It's not about having 5,000 friends on Facebook, which it does give you visibility. And I have about, oh, you started to share the screen. I was like, what's he bringing up here?
Just that, because you're kind of getting into that, and I want you to share that one.
This one was, do you have the slide right before this? The picture right before. Oh, no, that's after. It would be the one before the other picture. Yes. And I talk about habits, becoming a level 4 card sender. Now, you don't have to just send out cards. If you have pen and paper and you sit down at your desk and you do this every day, 3 cards a day, whatever your comfort zone is, and you do it every day consistently, you'll have results. I happen to become level 4 at sending cards, and that card was sent to someone who was at a networking event, and they won the Taste of the Chamber. Kiar, I picked up their business card off the table, and I created this card and just said, congratulations on your win. And I got a phone call 5 days later from Kiar, the guy in the left in the front of the card. He said, thanks for the card. That was really awesome. You know, my family and I are moving here from the east side of the state, and we're interviewing realtors. So if you go to the next slide, Tristan, this is what it led to. This is over time, over a 5-year period of time, we sold Kiar that house in the upper left. And, 3 years later, he was married and had 2 kids, and he sold that house and he bought the one right underneath. But the other houses are a brother's house, a sister's house. Her Kiar's brother-in-law referred us to a couple moving from Detroit who bought a house. Mom and dad bought a house, and then Kiar referred us to his friend Kevin, and they sold that house. So over 5 years, 9 homes and over $70,000 in income, because I had developed a habit of celebrating life. My brand is friendship, celebration, and service. It's making friendships wherever you go, celebrating people on a daily basis, and offering exceptional customer service, and that leads to some really great things. And when you can build your business through relationships, it takes the pressure off. It allows me to sit out here in my office on a beautiful August day, because with internet, we can do our job, we can be of service, and we can get things done. But it's a lot nicer to be the one picking up my phone and saying, hello, how can I help you, versus always looking for ways to go out and generate and prospect for business.
That's so key. That's very key. Any questions on this so far? Anyone out there? I know I missed a couple, but I had to scroll back up. All right, so these are the people that you've met, that are in your sphere, past clients. But you also touched on right there somebody that you hadn't met, which is kind of cool, because that hadn't met became someone that then you met. But can you tell me the process? Because this is where I fall flat, and I hope everybody else is kind of following along here, because I suck at this part. The one card that you sent at the beginning for $1.64, right? Mm-hmm. Right after that one, you started a relationship with that one guy. But how did you keep that relationship for 5 years? What's the system? Because that's where I fall behind. I'm like, well, who do I send a card to? Who do I call? When do I call? It becomes all kind of garbled.
I think that's when you show up in their life, through Facebook. I'm friends with his sisters, and they're just a very tight-knit family. So for me to get into that relationship and keep it, well, they got married. We were invited to the wedding, and I sent a big card with I go places and I take pictures because it's valuable. It's valuable to be able to give back to people in an emotional way that only you can do through pictures and your words. So I want people to just realize that it's saying thank you. It's saying, hey, I was thinking about you today. It's sending those text messages when they come to mind. It's acting on those promptings and just being intentional with, oh, I was thinking of Kiar today. And so I just text him, or I text Eva, or I'd say, how's the baby doing? It's showing up in their life when things happen that are good and bad, being there, being an emotional support. And I think that's the key, is showing up on a regular basis.
And by the way, it's so easy to do that now. I mean, Facebook is just like an open invitation to people's lives. And it's interesting because I made a post on Lab Coats a couple weeks back about how, I sent a baby gift to a past client, or I sent a card to one of my clients that moved to California because she posted about her garden that she was so proud of. And someone said, that's a little bit creepy. I'm like, it's not creepy if they tell you on social media. It's not creepy. It's not like you're going to their house and hiding in the bushes and spying on them. I mean, they allow you to see these things. So don't be ashamed, because by accepting your friend request on Facebook, they're giving you permission to know what they're doing. And all you're doing is acknowledging and showing them that you're paying attention. And when people know you're paying attention, believe me, it can go a really long way.
So what you said there, Nick, about, that sending them the card, it's not creepy when you engage them. So, you see somebody that posts pictures of their garden or of their pets or of their children, and you engage with them through comments and messaging. You become a part of their social life and network. So when you show up in the mailbox with a card, it's not creepy. And they'll even post on Facebook that they appreciate the beautiful card that you sent because it gave back to them a part of who they are.
Very true. Very true. So a couple of questions here, 3 questions. One is from Mary Anglin. Hey, Mary, what does she mean, level 4 card sender? What does that mean?
Well, level 1 would be you don't think about it, so you don't do it. A level 2 is you think about it and you don't do it. So
That's me. That's me.
You got some work to do. Level 3 is you think about it and you do it. And level 4 is you don't think about it, you just do it. It becomes a part of who you are. So, for me to see a picture and to snag it and send a card, that's level 4. I don't even think about it. I just do it.
All right. Other question here. Have you found that not having a real signature on send out cards hurts the personal aspect?
Not at all. Because again, it's getting good at your words. Here's the difference when you think about sending a card, and you can go to the store and you can buy a card and it has a nice verse, and all you do is say, sincerely yours, Stephen Gale. Or you can create a card that says, like I did with Christine this morning, Christine, thank you for an amazing pedicure. I really appreciate the attention you gave to me. Thank you for giving of your time and your talents to add value to my life. You have to, think about the person and the emotional attachment they have to you, what they gave to you, give it back to them. And, it doesn't matter if it's in Arial font or Gale font or Berkshire Swash font or signed with my signature or typed my name in the card. That doesn't matter. What matters is the intent of what you send to people, whether that's in a text message, in a Facebook Messenger, or in a card. The intent of what you send to people to give to them, to add value to their life, and that's what you'll get that back in return.
Now, Gail, when you sent a card to your pedicurist, did you take a picture of your feet and put it into the card? I'm just asking. I need to know what to do.
I sent it to Tristan. I actually sent him an image of the card. Oh, nice. I did today.
You did. Let's see if I can find it. Gail, while I'm looking for that picture, Christina Corna has a question. It's a few questions in one. It says, so what's the exact system? Do you have one? How many contacts do you make a day? Or do you just contact your sphere? How do you do it?
I spend at least 2 to 3. And okay, so what I do is going to be different from what you do because it's a gradual process. I've worked up to where I am today, but I can tell you that I spend 2 to 3 hours just going through Facebook, commenting, engaging with people, sending messages, and sending cards as I see fit. Someone very close to us had to put their dog down, and I see that a lot, and I'll take that picture that they posted because they're an important friend, and I'll send that in a card. But here's the other thing is identifying and like organizing your database. And we talk about CRMs all the time, but it's not really about the CRM necessarily. It's about how you have your contacts in categories. Okay. And I'm working on this because I have a lot of contacts over 10 years, over 13 years. I have a lot of contacts in my database, but I will tell you that you can, as an agent, if you identify 360 people and you like A's, B's, C's, and D's, And that's not unfamiliar territory, but if you like I'm working on getting down my A's to like 36 A's. And if I have 36 A's, those are the people that if they called me right now, and I'd say, look, Tristan, Nick, I got to go because someone needs me and they need me right now. Those are my A's. The B's are the people that I engage with, that I comment, that we have conversation with. And those are the ones I'm going to pause and send a card when their dog passes away with a little token. Sure, Nick.
I have like a whole bunch of questions here. Hold on.
I have a question. Well, actually, somebody said that you didn't finish your 50-25-1.
Okay, the 50 is the high fives. You you share an emoji, you acknowledge someone. 20 is people that you comment, you engage in conversation.
Okay.
And 5 is the 5 conversations that you have a day, whether it's texting, Facebook Messenger, picking up the phone, going to a meeting with somebody, and then 1 powerful conversation.
Got it. Okay.
Every day.
Perfect. So how do you get addresses for Facebook people that you haven't actually met?
I ask them, and usually when Nolly, I really enjoyed Nolly's presentation here on Lab Coats, and I didn't have him in my contact manager. So guess what? I sent him a friend request and I sent him a message. I said, Nolly, I really appreciated what you shared with us on Lab Coat Agents. Would you mind sharing your mailing address with me? I'd like to send you something. And he did.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. So many agents, like, they struggle with really the simplest of things. I mean, we talked to Bob Berg last week. Bob Berg, best-selling author of The Go-Giver, sold over 500,000 copies. After the interview, I go, hey, Bob, what's your home address? He just gives it to me. I mean, people just give it to you. Like, just ask. You know what I mean?
Here's another question. How do you let people know that you're a realtor without being in their face? Kind of like a constant bugging them and nagging. How do you do that?
Well, Coach Barino is one of my favorite people, and I love following him. And he said, this stuck with me, and you'll hear things that stick. Well, this stuck with me. If people know who you are, what you do, how to find you, and they have trust in you, you'll never have to worry about your business. And so for Steve and I, we do things and we post out on social media. So we have client events twice a year, Pumpkin Fest, Flower Fest. We invite everybody to come in. We share the cost with a lender friend, a title company, and my daughter's daycare center. So it's very, for $500 for each of us, we can entertain people. We give away bikes. We donate bikes to Toys for Tots, 1 bike for every closing. The first year we did it, it was 32. Last year we donated 70 brand new bikes to Toys for Tots, and the news comes out and they film us. And so, you get public notoriety. That just builds the visibility and the credibility with the people that we already know. So if you have visibility, credibility, you'll lead to profitability, but you'll be top of mind with people. So you don't have to tell them who you are and what you do. They already know. Steve and Gail Zintek, owners of Network Team Homes Realty, are at your service. And so we don't have to tell them that ever.
Got it. So do you ask them purposefully for referrals, or are they just coming to you because of what you do? Because there's 2 trains of thought here. Some people say you have to ask, like, oh, by the way, right? And other people say, you know what? Don't ask. They'll come to you. So what's your strategy?
Well, I think because if you help enough people get in life what they want, you can't keep it from yourself. And we belong to a BNI networking group for the last 10 years. There's 55 members. Last year we closed 29 homes out of that group. And that is asking for referrals. That's every week you're going and you're bringing referrals to them, and then they know what you do, so they're passing their referrals onto you, onto us as well. So, but that's a given. But out in the marketplace, we don't ever really ask for referrals. We just earn them. We deserve them.
Just give a whole bunch of value. I see. Alvin Tapia has a question here. Maybe we can bring him on for the question. What do you say? Hold on. Let's see if we can bring him on. Let's see if he's dressed for this. Oh, I put you on the spot, Alvin.
Dude, you're killing me.
Why don't you ask your question? I put Amy up on here too on accident.
Hey, Gail.
Hi, Alvin.
Did you mean to bring someone else up?
No, I'm gonna change her back to attendee. I clicked on Alvin and Amy. So Alvin, what's your question?
So Gail,
I'm so
the
sorry. It's Jackie in.
how do you schedule sitting down, doing your send out cards with your going out on listing appointments and going out on showing appointments? So is it in the morning, afternoon? How do you schedule time block? What exactly is your system there?
Well, this little handy dandy phone right here. So when I'm out on appointment, I can take the pictures, I can bring up the app, and before I'm even back to my office, I can have a card sent in the mail to them. So I have a tendency to do it right away so I don't get distracted later on with other things. If I have a listing appointment that I'm going on where I've been referred and I don't really know them, I might send a card ahead of time just to introduce myself, like I did with Mary. I sent her a card that has a picture of Steve and I on the back with all our real estate information. And the card itself is all about her property and our desire to meet and talk with her. So for buyers, it's after the sale, we have a 3-card campaign that goes out and it has pictures of them at their final walkthrough. One card goes out immediately with the 4-pack of brownies. The other goes out at the 1-year anniversary of their home purchase. And the other one goes out, I think, on Valentine's Day.
Nice. Any other questions before we boot you out, Alvin?
Yeah, but it looks like, kick me to the curb. But it looks like you do block out maybe the first couple hours to do some Facebook connections with people, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And throughout the day. You know, the beauty of having the app on your phone is being able to be in the moment and acting on the prompting as they come up. So if I see something that needs my attention, I will pause and get it done right then, versus, waiting till later to hopefully maybe remember to get it done.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alvin.
Boot me away, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Bye, Alvin.
We've got a whole bunch of questions. You want to tackle some of these?
Sure.
All right. Matthew's got a good question. So after the first card that you send, what other touches do you send throughout the year, or does it depend on the conversation after?
Well, I always send a holiday card. I can create my campaign, and our clients get the same card that everybody else gets, family members. And I think that's important to because I add pictures. I had pictures of Steve and I, of our kids, of our grandkids, and I send those out because, we're human, and I think we all have to be human. And when we're authentically ourselves and proud of our family and share that, it works. So the holidays, I also send out cards for the invitations to Pumpkin Fest and Flower Fest, and then follow-up cards after those events, thanking people for coming, and for even the ones that can't participate. It's pictures and cards showing what fun we had and hoping that they can attend next year. And then it's just cards throughout the year, as like I say, I become friends with our clients on social media, and they go on vacation. That's a perfect time to pause and take a picture and send it to, your past client of them on the beaches with in Florida or at Disneyland or wherever they might be. So it's throughout the year. And remember, it's, that you don't have to, I'm not sending cards to thousands of people. It's really about anywhere from probably, I'd say 2 to 250 people that, receive our communications during the year through cards.
Nice. Everyone keeps on asking what card service this is. I knew that question was going to come up. Look, there's no way that we're actively promoting send out cards. It's just the avenue that Gail uses, and it's a good avenue. Gail,
It's a great avenue.
it's a great avenue. That's true. But I'm saying it as opposed to going to Hallmark or using Bond. I mean, there's lots of other choices. I don't want people to think that we're selling them on anything. But what company is it that you use? Can you just tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Send Out Cards is an online greeting card and gifting system that allows you to create your own personalized cards on the phone app or on your computer using pictures. They have stock cards, several thousand stock cards to choose from for just the right moment. There's campaigns that you can send, and the average cost of a card is $1.64. That includes postage. And if you want to send those brownies, it's about $10 to send a custom card with a pack of brownies. So, you can, we're on the Lab Coat Agents webinar, Tristan. If they want to go through the Lab Coat Agents, don't just go to sendoutcards.com, because you won't get service or help, or, they'll help you, but
they won't get our campaigns either.
Yeah. So, so sendoutcards.com/LCA, and, just check it out.
Yeah. Just so you know, we're not steering everyone there, even though Robert says, shut up and take my money. Okay. That's,
there's lots of ways you can keep in touch with your sphere of influence. Send Out Cards is one that's working for Gail, and she has a system, and it's working for her. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. But you can keep in touch with your sphere of influence a number of ways. So, it's not a Send Out Cards webinar. We're just talking about Gail's system. That's all.
It's and I don't just use Send Out Cards. I use social media. So face to face, we have client events. Text messages, Messenger. It's just being intentional and personal with the people that are meaningful in your life. And especially if you want to grow your business by referral, then you gotta build the relationships with people.
Very true. Very true. All right. There's a whole bunch of questions here. So let me get to them. Desiree Layman says, do you use a card service or do you own card? Okay, I guess we answered that one. Next one, John Knight. If we sign up for Send Out Cards, does Gail get credit? Is there a link we should use so she gets credit for teaching us? That's a really good question, John. Very nice of you. Gail?
Well, I do have a personal site. It's sendoutcards.com/24853. And that's my number is 24853. So if you want to message me and talk to me about it, I'm happy to answer questions.
I'll put that on here right now for you. There it is. Good question. Anonymous attendee asks 2 questions. Where's the postmark from? Do people care you didn't actually put a pen on the paper? And are the best strategies to reconnect with long stale clients or contacts to generate a relationship? Or what are the best strategies to reconnect with long stale clients and contacts to regenerate that relationship?
I've talked to a lot of agents recently who've been like, oh, Gail, I've been so bad about not staying in touch, for the last 10 years. How do I start? What do I do? And my words of wisdom to them would be just to, one, seek them out, see if they're on social media, and then send them a friend request along with a message. This is important. When you get a friend request, or you ask for someone to be your friend, send a message along with it, because some people get random messages from people they don't know. And if I were to say to a past client, hey, I just found you on Facebook and I just wanted to reconnect with you to see how things are going in your life, that's much better than just showing up with a friend request. I hopefully they remember me, but maybe they don't. So I got to tell them who I am again, right? And as far as the postmark that comes with Send Out Cards, it says, hey, Steve, you got a card in there? I can show you what it looks like. But it's, nobody, when you become known as the person sending cards with pictures, people always tell me that they are so excited. Oh, well, this
What's
is
up, Steve?
there's my Steve. Here's a postcard. I just got this postcard today. It was Happy National S'mores Day, 8/10/17 from my friend Elizabeth in Texas. And then Karen, remember Karen, the one I just told you that referred me to Mary, her neighbor at the lake, sent me this, just because card, and wanted to share some flowers in her garden. And then that's my friend Karen on the back of the card. The postmark is it's just a stamp, and it says send out cards on it. There's not really, they do come ship. Everything's sent from Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's, when you make cool cards, people are excited to receive them in the mail. Personal mail, that's another thing. So outside of send out cards, if you're going to send them sit down and write a personal note, it might be the only personal note they get for a very long time, because we don't get personal mail anymore. So I highly encourage you to start to connect with people through personal mail, even if it's been several years since you've talked to them, and just write out, hey, you know what? You came to mind today, and I wanted to tell you I was thinking about you and hoping life's treating you really fine. If you're ever around, stop by the office. We'd love to chat and have a cup of coffee. That's another way to involve and engage somebody in a conversation to reconnect.
Gail, we've got Cheryl Vanderin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Cheryl. Can you talk a little bit about your pumpkin and flower fest? Do you give small little gifts as your giveaway?
We give great big pumpkins as our giveaway. We have dialed this event in, and so invitations go out. I've got them all ready to go out this year. It's always the second Saturday in October. We have a face painter. We have a bounce. Last year we had 2 bounce houses. We create this pumpkin patch, and we get pumpkins from the local growers. So for $2.50 a piece, we get great big pumpkins. And then they get to come and they have cider and donuts and coffee, and do the face painting, and they get to walk away with pumpkins to take home to carve for Halloween. Like I say, we rent a canopy, and so everything from the invitations down to all the things included is about $2,000. And we get about 100 to 150 people that attend this event every year. So, and
Wow.
and those are the ones that know us, like us, and trust us. So those are the ones that bring referrals.
Do you send personal invitations out through send out cards or through a different type of card service? Do you handwrite them out? How do you invite everyone?
Hey, Steve, can you bring me my briefcase? I've got the actual card in there if he's still watching. And I can show you. So it's a 2-panel card, and it promotes the lender, it promotes the title company, it promotes my daughter's daycare center. It has just bring it here and get it. So these go out, and I've got a group already set up in my system, so I can just go into the Pumpkin Fest group and send out. Oh, here was Flower Fest. So when we had our Flower Fest this year, we sent this invitation, and what was nice is when they showed up, I knew there were some people that showed up that I haven't seen in about 8-9 years, and they had this in their hand, so I knew they were my clients. So I had to figure out who they were before they came up to me. So, but here's Pumpkin Fest.
That's really cool.
Here's our Pumpkin Fest card. So this was last year's 2016, and on the inside, we have, the date, the time. Just
that's super cute.
And then on the back, we custom brand to ourselves, and, those just go out, and the festival is on.
I like that. Okay. Cheryl is saying, can you tell, you already talked about that. Perla Palma is asking, oh, Cheryl said, thank you. Thanks, Cheryl. Perla is asking again, maybe she didn't clarify right. No, my question is, how do you ask for their information without being in their face? For example, I ask my clients if I can add them to my real estate database, and sometimes they get freaked out wanting to know why. Can you tell us how you ask your clients or friends and family members for that info?
Well, I always say, because I'm a card sender, I tell them up front, I said, I'm a card sender, and I like to send cards at the holidays, and I like to send cards throughout the year to invite you to some events that we're having. And it's always nice to have your current address. And if they're clients of yours, I would assume that you would, well, not necessarily buyer clients if you haven't reached that pinnacle yet to know where they actually live, but just be open and honest, and let them know that it's just because you want to keep in touch with them on a casual, friendly basis throughout the years.
Perfect. All right. That was it. Any other questions, comments? Looks like we're all good. Gail, do you have any closing words?
Well, I guess my closing words are, it has to go back to Lab Coat Agents. I met Tristan and Nick through sending each of them a card about 2 years ago.
And brownies and cookies.
And brownies and a Starbucks card. But it was because I do appreciate, back then there was 18,000 members in the group. Today there's over 65,000 members. And what you're doing, Tristan and Nick, for the real estate community, and allowing people like myself to come on and share our expertise, doing these webinars is really impactful for people, because not everybody wants to build their business by relationship. There are actually agents out there who would prefer not to know anybody and just be transactional, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
I don't want to know anybody. Just listen. The less people I know, the less drama in my life.
So anyway, I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the Lab Coat Agents group, and I look forward to participating more and more as time goes on. And thanks to all the other people.
Gail, could you later on, when you have a little bit of time, can you go on to the group and show and maybe throw up a few examples of your cards? Because a lot of people are asking how they look, and then just tag us. And then this way you can
go find the live feed that we're recording, and then just post in the comments there too.
Okay.
Yeah, those two. Cool. Thank you, Gail. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.